Did you know there's more to Sonic the Hedgehog's universe than just its speedy blue protagonist? Before we dive into today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Your support keeps us running faster than Sonic chasing golden rings. Now, let me ask you this. What if Sonic had a counterpart who was equally fast but far more mysterious? Enter Shadow the Hedgehog. Um, uh, Shadow isn't your average rival. That it's he's not some throwaway antagonist meant to highlight Sonic's heroics. No, Shadow is a complex, dark anti-hero with layers of backstory that rival his rival in charisma. His story has captured the imagination of fans since his debut. First teased at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in a mid-credit scene that had fans buzzing. Shadow became a standout character in the 2024 blockbuster Sonic Hedgehog 3. The movie broke records. But who is this brooding hedgehog, and where did he come from? And let's uncover 10 fascinating facts about Shadow that you might have missed. When Shadow finally took center stage in the Dreamcast game Sonic Adventure 2 in 2001, he was already the product of long planning. Originally conceived during the development of Sonic Adventure back in 1998, Shadow was envisioned as Sonic's darker reflection. However, it wasn't until 2001 that Takashi Iizuka and Shiro Maekawa dusted off the concept and brought it to life. Audiences welcomed this sharp-tongued, jet boot-wearing anti-hero with open arms, or should we say, open controllers. Curiously, many fans assume Shadow was inspired by Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. A comparison that feels accurate at first glance. The spiky black hair, the tense rivalry, it all lines up. But Iizuka revealed a surprising twist. Vegeta wasn't the model Shadow was based on. John, his real inspiration was Spawn, the edgy anti-hero from Image Comics. That explains Shadow's dark and this brooding complexity. And let's be honest, Spawn probably inspired his black-red color palette as well. Speaking of names, Shadow could have turned out very different, starting with his own. Before he skyrocketed to fame, Shadow was almost named Terios, meaning reflection. Early designs showed a more menacing figure with scars and a hunched posture. Think about it, Terios the prisoner. Doesn't sound nearly as marketable, does it? Luckily, the Sonic team rebranded him as Shadow, a name that perfectly encapsulates his mysterious and contrasting nature. Initially, Sonic Team didn't even plan for Shadow to stick around. Believe it or not, he was meant to be a one-off character exclusive to Sonic Adventure 2, but fans couldn't get enough. The love for Shadow led to his return in games like Sonic Heroes and even a self-titled solo debut, Shadow the Hedgehog. The latter pushed boundaries by leaning into more mature themes and even included firearms. An unusual step for a Sonic game, wouldn't you say? This brings us to a little controversy. Uh, Shadow garners polarizing reactions from critics. Some argue he feels overly edgy, while others criticize the inclusion of his gun-toting persona in a franchise best known for speed and platforming. Uh, Despite the divided opinions, today, uh, not true, with everything from the trait of the assemblist. After all, what's Shadow without a little chaos? Um, by the way, did you know Shadow made an appearance in Super Smash Brothers Brawl? And let's not get excited. He wasn't a playable character. And instead, he showed up as an assist trophy using his signature chaos control to manipulate speed in battles. Think of it as Shadow lending a hand while reminding everyone of his powerful abilities. He might not have thrown punches directly, but his presence left an impact. The world Shadow inhabits is just as fascinating as the character himself. His universe was heavily inspired by dark sci-fi and gothic films like The Terminator and Underworld. Uh, it's no wonder his stories feel more brooding and gritty, uh, standing out from standard Sonic fare. Uh, Even Constantine made its way into the creative mix, giving Shadow's world an eerie, supernatural vibe that perfectly complements his own persona. When it comes to origins, Shadow has a unique tale. Uh, how does one create a black super speed hedgehog with advanced capabilities? Enter Professor Gerald Robotnik, the grandfather of none other than Dr. Eggman. Gerald created Shadow as part of Project Shadow, a desperate attempt to find a cure for a terminal illness afflicting his granddaughter, Maria. It's a tragic story that ties Shadow's existence to themes of love and loss, giving him a depth rarely seen in gaming characters. And Maria's relationship with Shadow made their bond unforgettable. Even if its end was heartbreaking, whether you've seen it in the games or Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the story strikes a chord. Her kindness forever shaped Shadow, giving him a moral complexity that alternates between seeking revenge and honoring her memory. Shadow isn't just speed and attitude. He's also tragedy and hope rolled into an edgy package. And last but certainly not least, let's talk about Keanu Reeves. Fans had been dreaming about him voicing Shadow for months, and their wishes came true in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Keanu's calm yet intense demeanor fits Shadow like a glove. And honestly, isn't Shadow just a hedgehog-shaped John Wick? The team even considered sneaking in Keanu's infamous lots of guns line, but decided it might be a bit too on the nose. And still, his casting was a stroke of genius. And now fans can't imagine anyone else in the role. Why does Shadow carry a horde of weapons despite running faster than your Wi-Fi during a storm? Because sometimes you need more than speed to blow your enemies away. Uh, with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.